Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're doing something a little different. Instead of, diving into research or articles, we're going to try something new, a little more playful. We're going to tackle some riddles.
Ah, I love a good riddle.
Yeah, me too. Throughout this deep dive, I'm going to give you a riddle and then give you a little time to think about it before we reveal the answer.
Hmm.
Then we'll explore some of the deeper meanings and historical context behind them.
Sounds fun. I think our listeners will enjoy this. It's a great way to, exercise those brain muscles and maybe learn a thing or two along the way.
Exactly. Riddles are more than just, brain teasers. They're like little windows into different cultures and time periods.
Yeah, they show us how people, in the past saw the world around them. Each one has a story behind it.
So, ready for our first one?
Absolutely. Bring it on.
Okay. Let's start with a classic, one that's been puzzling people for centuries. Here it is. I have both a face and hands and move before your very eyes. Yet when I go, my body stands still. And when I stand, I actually lie. What am I?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Take a minute to think about that one. Consider, the wordplay. It's really playing with our assumptions about movement and stillness.
All right, listeners, have you got it?
I bet some of you have it already. The answer is a clock.
Ah, of course. It's so clever how it uses those words go and stand to make you think about time in a different way.
Exactly. And, the clock's hands move to show us time passing, but the clock itself doesn't actually go anywhere.
Right. And when a clock is standing, it's really telling us a lie because time never really stands still.
Yeah, that's the riddle's little trick. It's making us question our understanding of something we usually don't even think about.
Thinking about clocks, it's amazing how much they changed the world. Like before we had clocks, people had to use the sun or those water clocks, to tell time. But then once we had those mechanical clocks, everything changed.
Yeah, you're right. It must have been a huge shift, like being able to schedule things precisely and be more productive.
Exactly. Clocks changed, like the way we worked, traveled, even how we talked to each other.
Ready for another one?
Bring it on. I'm ready for the challenge.
Okay, this one takes us into the natural world.
Okay, I like nature.
All right, here it is. My clothing's fine as velvet rare, though under earth my dwellings are, and when above it I appear, my enemies put me oft in fear. The gardener does at me repine, I spoil his works as he does mine. Who am I?
This one's tricky.
It is. Try to picture this creature. Think about where it lives, its enemies, and what kind of relationship it has with the gardener.
Okay, I think I have it. Is it a mole?
That's right, a mole.
Ah, those little guys can really cause some trouble in a garden.
They sure can. But the riddle does a good job of, showing us how unique moles are and how they often clash with humans.
Yeah, even though they're small, they can really mess up a nice garden, and a lot of people are scared of them.
Definitely. But the riddle also makes us think about the bigger picture, about how ecosystems work together.
That's true. Like, moles might be seen as pests, but they're actually really important for the soil and keeping other pest populations down.
It's even though they can be annoying sometimes, they're still part of the natural balance.
Exactly. All right, what's our next riddle? I'm ready for a new challenge.
Okay, let's try something a little different now. This one's filled with a sense of elegance and, romance.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay, here we go. My form is beauteous to the ravished sight, my habit gay, my color gold or white. When ladies take the air, I without pride, a faithful partner, am close by their side. I near their persons constantly remain, a favorite slave, bound with a golden chain. And though I can both speak and go alone, yet are my motions to myself unknown. What am I?
Wow, that's a really descriptive one.
It is. Let that language take you back in time. Think about what people used to wear that was not only stylish, but also had a special meaning back then.
Okay, I think I've got it. Is it a watch?
You got it.
Ah, that makes sense. They were so important back then, and some of them were so beautiful.
Exactly. Watches back then were more than just, tools to tell time. They were like little pieces of art, often made with gold and silver.
And having a nice watch, especially one of those pocket watches, it was a sign of, status and wealth.
It's interesting how this riddle kind of hints at the restrictions women faced back then, too. Like the watch is described as a faithful partner and a slave bound by a chain.
Yeah, those descriptions, they sound kind of romantic on the surface, but they also reflect how women didn't have as much freedom as men. Their lives were, controlled by social rules and expectations.
It's like the watch.
Yeah, just like the watch. All right, are you ready for another riddle?
Hit me with it.
Okay, this one is a a little more poetic. It uses a lot of imagery to give you this feeling of beauty and love, but also loss.
It seems intriguing.
Here it is. I am an emblem of youth and innocence, with walls enclosed for my defense. And with no care oppressed, I boldly spread my charms around, till some rude lover breaks the mound and takes me to his breast. Here soon I sicken and decay, my beauty lost, I'm turned away and thrown into the street, where I despise, neglected lie, see no Samaritans pass by, but numerous insults meet. Who am I?
Wow, that one really paints a picture.
It does, doesn't it? Think about those symbols, that cycle of emotions it's describing. What represents beauty that doesn't last and, well, the fragility of love.
Let me think. Okay, I think I've got it. Is it a rose?
You got it, a rose.
It's funny because roses are so beautiful, but they don't last very long.
That's why they work so well as a metaphor, you know? For centuries in art and literature, roses have been this powerful symbol. Their beauty that doesn't last makes them a perfect way to talk about, like, the fleeting nature of youth, love, and even life itself.
And the riddle really captures that bittersweet feeling, like love is beautiful, but it can also lead to heartache and disappointment.
Exactly. It leaves you with this feeling of, like, melancholy, you know? It makes you reflect on those experiences. Okay, ready for something different.
Yeah, hit me.
All right, this one presents kind of a paradox. See if you can figure this one out.
Okay.
We are twins, identical in every way, shape, size, and features. We can be square or round, made of brass, iron, or even wood. We're quite useful in trade, but despite our helpful nature, we're often hung by the neck in chains. Who are we?
Oh, that's a tough one. Twins, chains.
Think about things that represent, like, balance and fairness, but also things that are used for, well, punishment or maybe even imprisonment. What could have both, positive and negative qualities like that?
Mm-hmm. Balance and fairness. Okay, I think I've got it. Is it a pair of scales?
That's it, a pair of scales.
That makes sense. Scales are all about balance.
Exactly. They're the symbol of justice, making sure things are fair. They're used to make sure trade is equal and that everyone gets what they deserve.
But they can also represent the opposite, right? Like judgment and punishment.
Right. Like if you do something wrong, you might be weighed on the scales of justice and found wanting. It's a good reminder that even simple things can have, well, really complex and opposite meanings.
It really makes you think.
Okay, ready for another one? This one is a bit more. Well, it speaks to something that affects all of us in a very powerful way.
Okay, bring it on.
All right, here we go. I existed before the world began, and I will endure forever. I was present before Adam was a man or cast out of Eden. I accompany your youthful moments and ease your sorrows. I support the hard-working farmer and provide comfort to prisoners. Cherish me if you are wise, and make use of me while you can, for you will lose me quickly as I wait for no one. What am I?
Ooh, that's a deep one.
It is. Think about what affects all of us, no matter who we are or where we come from, something that's always there.
Let me see. Something universal. Something that we can lose. Okay, is it time?
That's right, time.
Time really does fly.
It really does. And time has always fascinated people, Philosophers, scientists, poets, they've all tried to understand it. It's both constant and, well, kind of mysterious. It shapes our lives in such a big way.
Yeah, it's something we all have, but it's limited. We can't get more of it.
Exactly. And this riddle really highlights that, how precious and finite time is. It's like a reminder to appreciate each moment and use our time wisely. And it also kind of hints at the different ways people think about time, like in Western cultures, we tend to think of time as this straight line, always moving forward. But in some Eastern cultures, time is seen as cyclical, like a wheel that keeps turning.
It's amazing how something so basic can be so complex.
It really is. All right, let's try a lighter one now. This one will make you think about some of life's simpler pleasures.
I like those. Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. I foam without anger, fly without wings, cut without an edge, and sing without a tongue. What am I?
This one sounds playful. Okay, let's see. Foam, fly, sing. Is it a bird?
Not quite. Think about something that creates a feeling of, well, happiness and togetherness. Something that people enjoy sharing and that makes them feel, celebratory.
Something that makes people feel happy. I think I know. Is it? A bottle of ale.
You got it. A bottle of ale.
Makes sense. Beer definitely brings people together.
It does, and it's amazing how the riddle uses those metaphors to describe, like, what it feels like to enjoy a beer. The foam, the sound of the cork popping, the clinking of glasses. It really paints a picture.
And then there's all the laughter and conversation that comes with sharing a drink with friends.
Exactly. And when you think about it, beer has a really long history. For centuries, it's been more than just a drink, you know? It's been part of social gatherings, religious ceremonies, even politics.
It's funny how something we take for granted, like beer, actually has such a deep and important history.
It's true. Okay, ready for one more. This one's all about the power of being subtle rather than using brute force.
Okay, let's hear it.
What force and strength cannot get through, I with a gentle touch can do. And many in the streets would stand, were I not as a friend at hand. What am I?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, force and strength can't get through, but a gentle touch can. It has to be something small but powerful.
Exactly. Think about everyday objects that have this ability to, like, overcome obstacles, even though they don't look very impressive. What can open up new pathways or give you access to something special?
Something small and powerful. Pathways. Oh, I know. It's a key.
That's right, a key.
Of course, a little key can open a big, heavy door.
Exactly. Keys have been symbolic in so many cultures, you know. They represent knowledge, opportunity, even freedom. And the riddle reminds us that sometimes the smallest, most unassuming things can have the biggest impact.
That's a good lesson to remember.
It is. Okay, ready to play with our perception of time again? This one is a real head-scratcher.
Oh, I like those. Give it to me.
All right, listen closely. What is that which has been tomorrow and will be yesterday?
Whoa. Okay, that's a tricky one. It's all about time, but,
Think about how we experience the past, the present, and the future. How did those concepts connect and influence each other?
Okay, the past, present, and future. Something that's been tomorrow and will be yesterday.
Oh, I think I got it. Is it today?
That's it. Today.
Ah, that's so clever. I love how it makes you think about time in a totally different way.
Exactly. Yesterday, today was tomorrow, and tomorrow, today will be yesterday.
Yeah.
It all depends on your perspective, where you are in the flow of time.
And it's a good reminder to, like, be present, to appreciate what we have right now in this moment.
Absolutely. Okay, ready for our final riddle. We're going back to the realm of humor and wordplay for this one.
Perfect. Let's hear it.
All right, here it is. My habitation's in a wood, and I'm at anyone's command. I often do more hurt than good if I once get the upper hand. I never fear the champion's frown, stout things I oftentimes have done. Brave soldiers I have oft laid down. I never fear their sword and gun. What am I?
Ooh, this one sounds like a mischievous character. It does, doesn't it? It's like this riddle is giving this inanimate object a personality. Think about something you'd find in the woods, something that can be both helpful and harmful, depending on how it's used.
Something in the woods. Helpful and harmful. Is it fire?
You're getting warmer, but think about something that people might enjoy a little too much sometimes. Something that can cause trouble if they're not careful.
Okay, let me think. Something people enjoy? That can be troublesome. Oh, I know. It's a barrel of beer.
You got it. A barrel of beer.
Of course. Beer can be fun, but too much of it can definitely lead to some bad decisions.
Exactly. The riddle is playing with that, how beer can be a source of enjoyment and bring people together, but overdoing it can have some unwanted consequences.
Like starting a fight with a brave soldier.
Maybe. But it's also interesting to think about how important beer has been throughout history. Like back in the day, beer was often safer to drink than water because the brewing process killed a lot of those harmful bacteria.
Wow, I never thought about that. So even though we're laughing at this riddle, it's actually reminding us of something really important.
Exactly. We've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we? Exploring riddles from different times and cultures.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And who knew riddles could be so insightful?
It's amazing how, these simple word puzzles can really get you thinking and lead to some pretty deep conversations.
I know, right? It's like riddles are more than just games or ways to test how smart you are. They're like glimpses into how other people think, different ways of seeing the world.
Yeah, and they remind us that, knowledge and wisdom, it can be found in the most unexpected places.
Definitely. So to all our listeners out there, we encourage you to keep the tradition of riddles going. Share them with your family and friends and see what kind of conversations you can spark.
You might be surprised at the, insights and laughter that come from trying to solve these little mysteries together.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe you'll even be inspired to create your own riddles, add to the long history of this really cool and ancient art form.
That would be awesome.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of riddles. Until next time, keep those minds sharp, and remember, sometimes the most profound answers are, hidden in plain sight. just waiting to be unlocked with a little bit of wit and curiosity.